how to properly soak a foot and wrap it. So if your horse happened to have an abscess, or if they had a hot nail, anything like that, this is just going to prepare you for if you did have to soak it or wrap it in the future, and some tips and tricks on how to make it easier. So yeah. Okay, so what you're going to need a hoof pick, just because you're going to have to pick the horse's hoof just to make sure any dirt, any poop, manure, anything like that is already out of it, so it's not blocking the way of the soak being able to absorb into the foot. So speaking of soaking the foot, you're going to need either a feed bucket. I like to use one just because the sides are lower, and if the horse does get uncomfortable and pick their foot up, it's less likely for them to step on the edge and tip over, whereas if you got a small bucket, they could just tip the whole bucket over and you would just have to restart. So I have a small ground feeding bucket. Next, you're going to need Epsom salt. You can just get Epsom salt from Walmart, Dollar Tree, anywhere that they sell it. You just want the normal kind. You don't want anything that's scented or anything that has different scents in it. You just want the normal plain Epsom salt for what we're doing. You're also going to need a diaper. You're going to need some cotton, and then vet wrap and duct tape. Found it. The actual drawing agent that you're going to need, you can either use Ickmol or Epsom salt poultice. I like using Ickmol better just because I was raised on it. That's how my trainer back home taught us to wrap a foot. But a lot of people do prefer Epsom salt poultice over Ickmol, just because the poultice helps draw it out a little better. Okay, so I'm going to first start off by picking up Remy's foot. He's going to let me. So you can see that his foot is a little dirty, so we're just going to start by cleaning it out. Just using a normal little hoof pick. Getting as much dirt as we possibly can out of there. It's okay if a little bit is left in there, but you don't want a ton of it, just because you don't want it to block where the abscess could possibly be. So we're just going to get as much as we can. Alright, just like that. Okay, so once you've cleaned the hoof out, you're going to go ahead and start soaking the foot. So what you want, I don't have any water in here right now just because he doesn't need his foot actually soaked for any reason. But what you would do for every gallon of water, you would put 2 cups of Epsom salt in there. You want the water to be as warm as possible without it being scalding. You don't want to burn the hoof or the skin around the hoof at all. But you want it to be warm enough to where if you're taking a warm shower, you want to be able to stay comfortable in it. So we're going to put bowl right underneath where he would normally stand. That way he can just sit there. He's comfortable. He's staying there. Now, if you are in a spot that has a lot of heavy traffic, you would want to go somewhere to where there wouldn't be too much commotion, too much noise, anything like that. But right here we're in the back stall of Upper Barn, so we're in a pretty secluded place, a pretty quiet place. He's really calm right now. You can tell that he's not worried about anything or anyone around him. So he's more than likely going to stay here for the amount of time that it takes. It usually takes around 15 to 30 minutes for you to completely soak the hoof. Some horses take a lot longer. Some horses take, right at 15 minutes. It just all depends on the horse and the severity of the abscess. You can also put a little bit of betadine solution in with the Epsom salt in the water, but not too much. You don't want to overpower the hoof with any extra ingredients. So if you're using liquid betadine solution, you would only put like a couple squirts in there just to help. Okay, so after about 15 to 30 minutes of your horse's foot soaking, you're going to want to go ahead and take it out, move the bucket aside, and then now you're ready to start wrapping. So after you've taken the foot out of the Epsom salt bath, you're going to take your Ickmol. I'm not going to actually do it just because he doesn't need his foot wrapped. Say that it's around his frog area right in here. You would just take a nice glob of it, put it right into the crevice where you think the abscess is. If you think the abscess is closer to the toe of the hoof or just closer to the outside wall, you would put it as close to the abscess as possible just so you can get as much of it drawn out. So you would put the Ickmol down, then you would take a baby diaper, you would open it up all the way, take it, put it flat around the hoof, and then you would then wrap them like so. Some people like to take a small amount of cotton, either on a cotton roll or an individual piece of cotton like this one with some plastic wrap around it. They put it on the ICMA and in between the baby diaper just so it adds a little bit more of a pressure onto the hoof. So the more pressure that's on the abscess, the more likely the abscess is to come to the surface and release. The next step of wrapping your hoof is taking vet wrap, and you want to go all the way around the hoof, surrounding the hoof wall and the frog of the foot. So basically you want the entire baby diaper covered. So you'll take it. I like to put it in between my legs, kind of like a farrier does. So I like to start at the left side of the hoof, bringing it around the toe, and then just going from there. So then you're going to wrap around. Press the edges down, and then you can go ahead and let the foot go. So as you can see, the baby diaper is around the cornet band, but if I fold it down a little bit just so you can see, the vet wrap isn't touching the cornet band at all, so that's a good thing. We don't want the vet wrap to be surrounding the cornet band just because since the vet wrap is so stretchy and it sticks to itself so well, if it was to be around the cornet band, it could cause cording to around the hoof, loss of blood circulation and things like that. So this is a good wrap around the foot, and then the next step is to add duct tape. Okay, so with the duct tape, you're actually going to want to make a pad to put on the bottom of their foot. So what I like to do, some people like to put it on the wall and make it, but I like to just put it on my leg. So I just take a couple pieces, put them on my leg, make sure to overlap them over top of each other so that whenever you do put it on his foot, they're not going to pull away from each other or separate. So once I go side to side across the leg, I'm actually going to go up and down with the tape as well, keeping the same amount of widths of the pieces, so about 4 to 5 inches. And then with Remy, he doesn't have that big of a foot, but if you were to use this on another horse such as Bilbo or Cisco with a lot bigger feet just because of their breed, you would definitely want to use longer strips of tape and more strips of tape. Like that, I'll peel it up. So as you can see, this is the perfect size to put around the bottom of the hoof. So I'm going to take it and place it right on the bottom of his foot. Pull the edges up, and then you're going to take the rest of your tape and just go along the edge just for extra protection. And that is a fully wrapped hoof. Remy, he doesn't like to go run around and play as much in turnout. So it may last him a little longer, but if you get a horse that is a lot rowdier in turnout, gets a lot more excited, they might wear down the toe of the wrap a lot easier. So you'll probably have to re-wrap it at least every day. Okay, so now to take off the hoof wrap, we're just going to pretend that this has been on for a day or two. So you're going to lift the foot up. Wrong one. I'm going to slide my thumb down the bottom of the wrap just so I know that the edge of the scissors is not going to cut him in any way, shape, or form. We're going to cut down at least to where you can just take it and then just peel it off or just rip it off. So we're just going to take it, peel the edges back, and then it should slide right off. So now that you have the wrap off, if you're going to re-soak the foot, apply ICMA and re-wrap it again, that way you know how to reapply it and take it off just in case you need to. So yeah.